So we're live again. So hello, how are you? Wherever you are, in South America, in Spain, in Europe. Okay, this is Mónica from El Blog para Aprender Inglés. And here with me again, Craig Wealand.
Hello.
Del Inglés.
Welcome to Facebook Live. It's really good to see you.
Yeah, and I think nobody's watching yet, but for the replay, no? Okay, for the replay.
Give them time. They'll come. People will come.
Introduction. Okay, so I'm going to just put these banners there. And today we're going to talk about, what is the topic for today?
We're going to talk about daily routines, and we have 15 wonderful phrasal verbs that Monica's put together, 15 phrasal verbs that are commonly used in English to talk about daily routines, things you do on a regular basis in English, and how can you speak about your routines using these phrasal verbs. So I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be a very useful session on Facebook Live. Hi, Gemma. Gemma's here.
Yeah, I'm sure. Thank you, Emma, for coming. So I was going to say that I chose this topic because I noticed there are two things that happens with phrasal verbs. The first thing is that most people hate them. Like this is something horrible that you have to learn, tedious, they're difficult to learn. And I want to say that they shouldn't be like that because it's just part of the vocabulary. I remember that the first time they told me, do you know any phrasal verbs? I said, what? Phrasal verbs? What are those phrasal verbs?
So you knew them, but you didn't know you knew them.
Exactly. I didn't know the name. And I said, what? The first time, I don't know, I was shocked because I didn't know what that was. And I knew them because I had learned them with the vocabulary. I just was using them. And that's the way I think you should learn them. It's just using them, not think of them as a separate, horrible thing to learn. Yeah. So there's the number one. And number two is that they're very, very common. And that's another thing in colloquial speech, because people think, no, maybe this is not, we're never going to use it. Well, maybe you don't use them, but you're going to hear them very often. Especially when talking to native speakers. Native speakers, they always use phrasal verbs. It's very, very common, and that's why it's important to learn them. And I was watching some videos, and I got the idea, what about daily routines? In daily routines, there are many phrasal verbs. So some of them, I'm going to start showing them.
Another thing about phrasal verbs is really important to think about the object, where you're going to put the object with a phrasal verb, because that a phrasal verb has the main verb and it has a particle, which is sometimes an adverbial particle or sometimes a preposition, but that doesn't matter. There are two words, basically. And these two words, sometimes you cannot separate them. They must stay together. And sometimes you can separate them and you can put the object in the middle. So it's important to know that. And one problem I see with students sometimes is that they confuse where they can put the object. So we'll look at that today as we're explaining these phrasal verbs, and we'll explain where you can put the object, if you can put it in the middle or after. Can you use it? Where can you put it? And we'll look at that today as well.
Okay.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Rafa. Yeah, we just saw them. Yes, that is a very common problem. And then again, I would say that more than studying that, you learn them by using them. You know where to put the object because it's just familiar. You just know where to. I'm sure no native speaker starts studying a book saying, well, now the object goes in the middle. No, you just use them. That's what I want you to do. I want you to use them. And if you use them, you know where to put the object, okay?
So while you're watching us, why don't you practice in the chat box, practice writing and using these phrasal verbs after we explain them to get used to finding out how you can use them and improve your English with these phrasal verbs. So try writing sentences, example sentences, as we explain them.
Okay, so the first one is going to be for Craig, and this is a very common one. Very common. Everybody knows this one. So, Craig, can you see?
Wake up. Oh, sorry. Wake up. Yeah, I was sleeping. Wake up. Come on. Wake up, Craig.
Wake up. Where are you? Where are
So
you?
this is an example. I was sleeping. This is an example of a separable phrasal verb. You can wake up someone, or you can wake someone up. So you can say, wake your dad up, or wake up your dad, or wake him up. But you cannot say, wake up him.
Mm-hmm.
So when the object is a personal pronoun, you cannot have it at the end. That's why it's tricky, and that's why it's confusing. So how do you say wake up in Spanish?
Despertarse, ¿no?
Yes.
Despertarse.
What time do you usually wake up, Mónica?
I usually wake up at 7 or 7:15. And you, what time do you usually wake up?
Usually it's around 8 o'clock, unless I have a lot of work. And if I'm very, very busy, then I wake up early. I wake up about 7 or 7:30. And on weekends, I usually wake up later. I wake up about 8:30 at weekends.
Hello, Montse.
Hi, Montse.
It was a student of mine in Sassenach.
Phrasal verbs. What a nightmare.
No. We were just saying. Okay,
that's why we're speaking about them, because they are tricky.
Don't think of them as a nightmare. There's one thing I want to say, because I have another phrasal verb which is very common, but most people confuse wake up with get up. And it's not the same. Because when I say levantarse y despertarse, that's not the same. So when I say, what time do you usually get up? One thing is to wake up. I was thinking, what time do you usually wake up? No, I usually wake up a little bit earlier. I wake up like 6:30 or something like that.
Wow.
Depends on the day. And then I say, oh, I'll go back to sleep again. And then it's the time I get up, which is different from waking up. So it's just levantarse, get up. So
one of my pleasures, I love to do this on Sundays. For example, when I don't have to get up early, I wake up probably around 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then I read in bed. So I read for maybe half an hour, and then I get up.
Exactly.
And that half an hour is so sweet when you wake up and you lay in bed and you read, or you listen to the radio or listen to some music, and you just rest. Because it's Sunday and you don't need to get up early.
Exactly. That's very nice. When you don't need to get up early, get up. What time? So the question, the normal question with this verb is, what time do you usually get up? This is a very common. I got up, past tense. I got up at 7 o'clock. Today I got up at 7. Another comment about this. You are going to be, Craig, in charge of saying exactly where the pronoun goes or the object goes. Because
yes,
I am not very good at that. I just play by ear. But I don't have an explanation.
Usually it's intransitive. You usually just say, I get up. So there's no object. There's no object. I get up. What time do you get up? However, you can have an object when you get someone up. So you physically go into their bedroom and you, first of all, you wake them up. Notice that the pronoun is in the middle, so it's separable. You can separate the phrasal verb. So you wake them up, and then you can get them up, which means that you force them to get out of bed. So maybe children need their parents or one of their parents to get them up in the morning. But that pronoun must go in the middle. You can't say get up them.
No, it doesn't.
That's the important thing to remember. So get the children up, or they'll be late for school.
Okay, so get up and wake up are very easy and common phrasal verbs. Many times we use these phrasal verbs. Everybody knows them. But this one is a funny one. It's your turn. The next one is your turn.
Yeah, my students always laugh in the classroom when I say this word. I don't know why they laugh. But when I say put on, I don't know why they laugh. Maybe you can tell me. But we had before get up with the verb get, and you also get dressed after you get up.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you get dressed, what do? You put on your clothes. So you can put on a shirt, you can put on a hat, you can put on your glasses, you can put on your trousers, your shoes. And the opposite, of course, is take off.
Take off.
So before you go to bed, you take off your clothes. In the morning after you get up, you put on your clothes. There are other meanings of put on. You can use it in a different way, which means to imitate somebody. You can put on a voice, which means you can like speak like an American. You know what I mean? That's awesome. I'm putting on an American voice. Pretender. But that's not so common. The most common use of put on is to put something on your body.
Yeah, the reason why people laugh, because in Spanish from Spain, it sounds like puton, like prostitute, no? But I always say, because everybody starts laughing, I say, well, but there's a big difference in pronunciation here. And the difference is that in English, the consonants are very important. And in Spanish, the vowel sound is very important. So it's not puton, it's put on. It's like, yeah, you just heard Craig. He says put on. He puts lots of emphasis in the consonants. It's P and T and N, no? So that's why it doesn't sound like puton, because that's Spanish. So you have to pay attention to that. Pay attention to the sound, because if you put the emphasis on the consonants, you're going to speak much more native, because this is the main difference between Spanish and English, the consonant sound. They're very, very important. So pay attention to that, and it won't sound so awful like puto. Yeah, but everybody remembers this verb. They don't have trouble remembering, at least people from Spain, Spanish from Spain. I don't know the rest.
That's because it makes them laugh. They make a connection in their mind, and they can maybe if you make a picture in your mind, and the most ridiculous, stupid, funniest picture you can think of is the easiest to remember.
Yes.
So if it helps you to remember this verb by thinking of a prostitute getting dressed and putting on clothes, fine. You remember the word. That's another phrasal verb you've learned. So try to make those connections in your brain, and the words will be easier to remember. One more thing before we move to the next one, the separability. This is another separable phrasal verb. So you can put your shoes on or put on your shoes. However, when it changes to a pronoun, it's only in the middle. So put them on. No se puede decir put on them.
No. Put them
so
on.
When it's a pronoun, it must go in the middle of the phrasal verb.
Okay, Rafa is saying something that I was thinking about. Rafa, takes us a few weeks with the airport's vocabulary. The plane takes off. Yeah, when you said take off, I thought of that, because to take off is clothes. You can take off clothes, but you can also say despegar is an airplane. Okay,
it's a really good example, Raf, of a phrasal verb that's not separable, because you cannot say take the plane off.
No, it's true.
But you can say take your shirt off.
Yes.
So when it has the meaning of quitar la ropa, it's separable. When it has the meaning of despegar, you cannot separate the particle from the verb. The plane takes off. You cannot say take the plane off.
No, take the plane off.
Take the plane. Take the plane's on me. Take the plane off me. No.
Because actually, take off means to remove. To remove. That's why take off is like a remove. You take something off. You remove something, no? Mm-hmm. And the same happens with the plane, because it's flying, it's going away, it's removing itself. It's removing itself. Okay, let's see. Let me go back to, I think this one is for me. Come over, and Craig added come round. Come round is more British English. I think.
Yeah,
And
it
come
means the
over,
same. Means
yeah?
the same though. Yeah.
It means the same, but it's more British English because I never heard come round. To come over, it's funny because this is something like you think, come over. Well, you say very often about phrasal verbs that there's a real meaning and a figurative meaning. And there's always here, come over me. Like get yourself over me, no? That's the real meaning, no? But when we're talking in a figurative way, we mean to visit someone. It's funny, no? Why don't you come over, for example? Now with the COVID, we don't have many guests, so we don't use this verb too often. But it's usually an invitation. They are coming over. They are coming over. That means they are coming to visit me. They are coming to my place. So that only with these two, with this verb and this preposition, I am indicating, come to my place, come over. That's it, come to my place. In Spanish we would say, ¿por qué no vienes a casa? ¿Por qué no vienes a mi casa? Or ¿por qué no vienes a casa? So it's funny that only with these two, this verb and this preposition, you are saying like a big idea, no? To visit me. Why don't you come to visit? And why don't come around? There's also expression. What goes around comes. Isn't there an expression?
What goes around comes around. Yeah. What you do to other people comes back to you, comes around to you. Yeah. Which is karma, really. It's karma.
Yeah.
If you're nice to people, then you will have nice things happening to you.
So why don't you come round? Also, I could say, why don't you come round? Okay, Craig lives in Valencia and I live in Madrid.
Not so easy for me to come round to you, Monica.
No,
it's a long way to come.
It's not very easy because it's too far away. But if you happen to live near, you can say that. In fact, well, now I just said that it's not very common anymore because you're not supposed to be with your friends all the time. And if you are with your friends, it's better to be outside, not inside the house. Okay, so come.
And it's also inseparable. You cannot separate the particle from the verb. So come over for dinner, come over for tea, come round for a cup of tea, come round for a drink. You cannot say come you round or come you over.
Oh, no.
It's intransitive. So just come over if you're in the neighborhood, or I live near the beach. If you're going to the beach, come round for coffee. That's a very common colloquial expression.
But I was going to say that when you say it in a different way with the object in a different place, it sounds so strange to me that it's just you wouldn't say it. So I don't know, you have to make up that sentence because it's just invented. You cannot say that.
No.
Come over. Why don't you come over? What did you say? Why don't you come over
for coffee?
No. But you made an example. There was an example
of what you cannot say.
The incorrect use.
Come you over.
Come you over, for example. I never heard that. So you would have to really think about it. Come you over. Yep. No. This one, the next one, I like this one because it's very, very common and it has nothing to do. This is for you, Craig. It has nothing to do. The phrasal verb really has nothing to do with the meaning.
No, hang out. Hang is colgar. So it's like hang. Well, it has two meanings that I can think of. You can hang out the washing.
Yeah, well, hang out. This is physical.
Colgar la ropa. Yeah, that's the literal meaning because you're taking the wet clothes and you're hanging them out to dry.
Yeah.
So don't forget to hang out the washing before you go to work. Hang out. The more colloquial expression, which is not literal, is to pasar el rato, to hang out with someone. For example, I like to hang out with some friends and have a meal and a glass of wine. To hang out with people, to hang out in a bar, to hang out on the street and talk for a while. It's just to be with people. It's a very informal way to say estar con compañía or estar con gente, to be with friends, to be with family, to hang out with friends, pasar el rato.
Yeah, but in Spanish, we don't use it like that. And that's why it's so confusing, because I think that not many people understand this. This to hang out is in Spanish is, for example, just to go out. Because the idea for me to hang out, who do you hang out with?
These days, I don't hang out with anybody. I hang out with myself. Be careful of the past tense because it's irregular. The past of hang is hung, H-U-N-G. So last week I hung out with some mates, some friends. Sada has a nice example. I like to hang out with my friends. That's very good.
Yeah,
Sada.
yes. This is a good example. But I love the dog. This is a small dog there. I wanted to say that in Spanish we would say something like ¿con quién sales? ¿Con quién vas por ahí? But not spend time, because hang out can also be not necessarily to go out with someone. It's just,
no, you can hang out playing video games.
Exactly, I'm hanging out with them. So in Spanish, there's not perfect correlation between the translation and the meaning in English.
And it can go very well with the phrasal verb before. You can phone your friend or text your friend and say, hey, what are you doing? Are you doing anything? No, I'm not doing anything. Why don't you come over and we'll hang out?
Yeah.
We'll hang out and drink a few beers and we'll hang out together and play video games.
But you wouldn't say that in Spanish. You say, why don't you come over? Yes. ¿Por qué no vienes? Y, wow, pasamos un rato, but it's implying the action. So you don't have a verb for that. I think, at least, if somebody has any idea, but that's why it's difficult to translate, because I don't know, I never know how to translate that verb. De pasar el rato, but it sounds like redundant. It sounds redundant.
Another English expression that's similar is be together, but you wouldn't say, hey, come over, let's be together. No se dice. You wouldn't say it.
That's very formal, no?
Yeah.
No, pasamos el rato.
Keep me company, maybe.
Pasamos el rato. Sí, ¿por qué no vienes y jugamos? Or you always say something specific y nos tomamos una cerveza or something like that. But you don't say, ¿por qué no vienes y pasamos el rato? No, I never said that, at least. Okay, now I have the next one. This one has two meanings, actually. At least the most common meaning of this verb is to do exercise, workout. For example, I go to the gym and I work out every Wednesday, for example. One to work out. Or I never work out. Lately, I never work out. I just go for a walk. I really working out. My walks are the working out. I never work out. Okay, to work out.
You never work out?
Not anymore. I used to go to a gym in the past and all that. And now, after the COVID, I just decided to just go for a walk. But I go for a walk, long walks, 5 kilometers or something like that. That's good. Not working out, like specifically doing exercise there with weights or dumbbells and all these things. No. Do you work out?
Not anymore. The same as you. I used to, but this week I bought a folding bicycle.
You finally bought this bicycle.
I finally bought it, which means I can travel to my language school on the bicycle. I don't have to use the bus. And I rode the bike up and down the beach. And my last bike got stolen. Yeah. And I bought the folding bike because I can keep it in the flat. And now I'm using the folding bike. It's not a workout. Workout you can also use as a noun, a workout. It's not really a hard physical workout, but it's really nice. It's really pleasant to ride along the beach and ride around Valencia because Valencia is very flat. So,
working out. Yeah, working out is like, in this case, you take it as a replacement, a substitution for working out. Something, because for me, working out sometimes is boring. It's like sometimes it's like studying phrasal verbs. Like, who wants to do that? But if you want to, if you do it without noticing, like riding a bike, swimming, or going for a walk, you're also working out, not in the same way as in the gym, but you do work out. So let me see. Rafa says for hang out, echar un rato, echamos un rato. Yeah, it could be. That's one a Spanish expression, I suppose, but because I don't think in South America they say that. Mm-hmm. Then we have Sasana says
physical exercise.
Physical exercise. Okay, yes, working out is physical exercise.
And what's the second meaning? You said there was another meaning.
There's another meaning. Yes. The other meaning is, let me put it back here. To solve something. Workout. I have. Let me think of an example.
If you go to eat with people and there's a bill and there's 6 of you, you have to work out how much money each person pays. Calculate.
Yeah, calculate. I was thinking, I said to solve, but solve is more to figure out.
It can be to solve. Yeah, the detective worked out who murdered the butler. Yeah.
Yeah, but work out. I cannot work out a solution here. For example, you can say that it's difficult to work it out because there are too many factors involved. So, but I tried, and finally I came up with a solution to work out. To work out also means to solve a problem, nothing to do with exercise. And what is this? What is the origin of this meaning? No, it's like you have to work and then out, something comes out. What is the origin? It's because it's not connected. Work as a physical exercise, and then to solve something
I never thought of it. It's like you said at the beginning, Mónica. I think like native speakers don't think of why the phrasal verb, like what's the origin? Where does it come from?
No, you don't think. But
I don't think it's that to work and then out is the solution. So you work to a conclusion. You work it to a final outcome, a final thing. Yeah, there's the famous Beatles song, "We Can Work It Out," by the Beatles.
Oh, we can work it out. In this case, we can work it out. It means that we can fix a problem.
Yes, exactly. That's a good way to explain it. We can fix the problem. And when it has this meaning of calculate or fix the problem, you can separate it. So you can work the problem out or work the bill out. When it has the previous meaning of do exercise, it is not separable. So you work out.
That's it. You work out. You
can't say work your body out or work out your body.
No,
it's just I'm working out tomorrow. I can't see you for coffee.
Yeah. Okay. It says origin of phrasal verbs. Rafa says, what is the origin of phrasal verbs? This is Germanic. Look, English is a Germanic language. So all these are Germanic verbs that they're colloquial speech. And basically the Latin words, the French, the Latin, all the other words came later to add. They were added later with the different invasions of Normans and in the Middle Ages. They brought these languages, Latin and French and all that, was brought later into this Germanic language. So that's why there's many times there's a formal verb and informal. And the informal is the phrasal verb, and the formal verb is the Latin verb. So, for example, in the word makeup, que quiere decir maquillaje, but also inventar, you have makeup as a phrasal verb, and invent as invent is the Latin word. So it's that's the origin of it's just the Germanic tribes that made up all these words. They were Germanic. They speak like that.
It's not, as Rafa suggests, that maybe the British people were bored. It's not, Rafa, a group like a committee of professors at Cambridge University who thought, I know what we can do to make these students really angry. We can invent these phrasal verbs and they'll never learn English. No, that's not the reason. But Actually, we did a podcast about this back in September called A Brief History of Phrasal Verbs, Rafa. If you're interested in the origin, it's episode 331. So inglespodcast.com/331. It explains what Mónica just said, but in more detail, the origin of phrasal verbs. And what's interesting, when some French words came into the English language, French was a very sophisticated upper class language, and they gave us lots of full verbs. So if you use the full verb, as Mónica said, it was more formal and more educated. And if you used the phrasal verb, you were more like lower class and working class. And that's still true today. Phrasal verbs are more informal, whereas the full verbs are usually for more formal language, formal writing, and formal conversation. That's still true today.
Yeah, but it is true today, but you have to think that most of the time people are in informal conversations. That's why they're important, because you're not, when you speak to your friends or when you speak to colleagues at work, you're not really talking in a sophisticated way. You're just plain speaking, like in the morning, what do you do? This kind of talking. In Spanish, we do the same. Mm-hmm. So that I think that's why they're important. That you cannot really ignore them, because the good thing would be, they're informal, lower classes speak this, use these verbs, so let's forget about that. No, because I think they're just much more used than formal verbs. And colloquial speech, for sure. For sure.
Rafa said, I don't imagine the Queen Elizabeth using phrasal verbs. Well, here's your homework, Rafa. Go to Netflix, watch The Crown on Netflix, and see if you can hear the Queen using any phrasal verbs.
I think she does.
And I think she does. I think the royal family probably not hang out like I'm hanging out with Prince Charles, or
no.
But they probably do use some phrasal verbs because they're so common in modern English.
So common. That's why they are important. That's why I insist on this, because even if you don't use them, you have to. Because I cannot remember anybody when at the time I learned English, that I was very young. I cannot remember anybody saying, for example, invent. Nobody said invent, and I said, "Whoa, it's so easy, invent. Why do you say makeup?" And that's why I know that these Latin verbs are not so common in colloquial speech. Now I have another another.
Okay.
This is for you, Craig. I think yes, because I did work out.
Let's look at the idiomatic meaning and the literal meaning. So the literal meaning is when something fits in something. For example, these glasses fit. In this case. So if I put my glasses in here, then they fit in the case. So that's the physical, literal meaning of fit in. There's an idiomatic meaning, more of an idiom, is where like you feel comfortable. For example, you go to a party to hang out with your friends, but they have different interests. They like video games and you like tennis, and you have nothing in common, and you don't fit in. How would you say that in Spanish?
Encajar.
En los dos sentidos, in both meanings.
No, in one, there's two meanings here. Fit is, fit also has the meaning of to be to be fit, estar en forma, no? But fit also means caber. For example, I always say that when I go on a trip and I make the suitcase, everything fits perfectly. But when I come back,
in the suitcase,
when I come back, I have a problem. I say, what happened? The things grew, so they don't fit in the suitcase. It's the same
because you bought presents.
Yes, usually.
I have some advice for you. I have a tip.
Yeah, what is the tip?
When you get old clothes that you want to throw away, keep them, save them for your holiday. So all the clothes you want to get rid of, there's another phrasal verb, to get rid of, deshacerse. All the clothes you want to get rid of, you take on holiday in your suitcase. You throw your clothes away when they get dirty, and then you have room in your suitcase for all your presents to fit in the case.
Yeah. but I
Problem solved.
don't usually wear clothes I want to get rid of. That's a problem. Because if I want to get rid of them, it means that I don't like them anymore, so I won't wear them. So that's your practical point of view, but I'm not very practical in this point of view. Well, lately, because of the COVID, I don't worry too much, but in the past, I was very worried about this. No, fit. Okay, so fit is caber, but fit
Yes.
means encajar, and here fitting is very. I don't know in Spanish if we say that so much, because we say, for example, when you go with a group of people and you don't fit in, you say, well, no encajo, no. It's like that group of people has nothing to do with you. But there's not a very good expression, no encajar. I don't like.
No estás cómodo or cómoda.
Yeah,
you don't feel comfortable.
You don't feel comfortable. Yeah, Rafa says, yes, this is good. Sentirse cómodo. If you don't fit in, you're not comfortable, right? This is exactly, Rafa, what I was looking for, because encajar is too formal also. It's too formal. No, I went, and sometimes this is very annoying, no? That you go to a place and a student just told me a story that she has a dog that is a galgo, but it's
a greyhound.
A greyhound. Yeah, greyhound is the name in English, but is half breed, so it's not completely a greyhound. And she went to meet some other greyhounds in the park, and she said, we didn't fit in there. The other dogs didn't like my dog, and I didn't like those people, and we left. And it's because the dog was not
the same class.
Yeah, the same class. Was not,
didn't fit in
with a greyhound.
With the pure greyhounds.
Yeah.
Fit in is also an example of a phrasal verb that is inseparable. So you cannot separate the verb and the particle. So you just say, I didn't fit in with this crowd of people. I didn't fit in with this group. Or the book doesn't fit in the bookcase, for example. Or my glasses don't fit in the case. So you cannot separate the particle and the verb. Fit in.
Okay, good. And I remember fit, a lot of F there, fit, not feet, because there's pies.
Yes, yeah, fit. So like sit and it.
Exactly. This is for me. Get on with. And I like this first verb because in Spanish, well, we have one verb that is apañarse. Well, I think it's Spanish from Spain more than in other countries. But to get on with means how, for example, Craig has a new project and I want to know how she's doing with that project, and said, how are you getting on with the new project, right? So how are you getting on with that? Is it working? Is it not working?
Yeah, I'm getting on really well.
I'm getting on really well. Yeah, it's just this working. It's working. So it's a little bit difficult to remember because you have there really one verb and two prepositions. Get on with, whatever you want to say. Project, new job. How are you getting on with a new job? And it also has a second meaning, but this is more British, I think. And it's to get on with someone.
Yes, like Gemma said in the chat room, llevarse bien con alguien. Well done, Gemma. Yeah.
That's the second meaning. Okay, Gemma, that's another meaning. I was referring to the one of apañarse con algo, no? So, llevarse bien, do you get on with your friends at the school? Do you get on with your colleagues? I don't get, the opposite would be I don't get on. The Americans, they say more get along with than get on. So get along is American and get on is British. So so how are you getting on? Now, what about the particles here? This is very complex. What do we do with all these objects, and where do we place the object here?
Well, as the same as fit in, get on is not separable. So you get on with someone. Like I get on with my sister. I cannot say I get my sister on. And I cannot say I get on my sister with. It has to be, the object has to come after the prepositions. So I get on with my boss, I get on really well with my boss, or I get on really badly with my boss. You can get on well or get on badly, but the object is always after the prepositions.
And what about this example?
This meaning, good Rafa, this is adelantar. To get on with something is empezar o adelantar.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. That is true. So
stop procrastinating, stop drinking coffee, stop looking at Facebook. Get on with your work. Get on with what you're doing.
Do your work.
Venga.
Different meaning.
Venga ya.
Getting a different meaning. Okay, let's go with, this is for you. Try out. Great.
Yes, I said before, I told you about my new bicycle that I'm very pleased with. But before I bought my bicycle, I went to the bike shop because it was quite expensive. It wasn't cheap. It wasn't like 10 or 20 euros. It was quite expensive. So I didn't want to buy the bicycle before I tested it. So I said to the man in the shop, can I try the bike out before I buy it? So to try something out means to test. And did you notice I put the object in the middle? So this is a phrasal verb that you can separate. Try it out. Try the bike out, or try out the bike. What you cannot say is try out it. So when you have it, when you have that pronoun, you must have it in the middle. So that could be for a computer. Can I try your laptop out? Can I try out the laptop? Can I test it? Can I play with it? Can I try out your camera? Can I try out your car? It means to test.
Okay, I wanted, Rafa made a couple of comments there. I have an anecdote with makeup. But I would have to send you a link and you tell us the anecdote, because it's difficult unless you write it. And he says also, you buy too much, Mónica, because I said that I never take clothes. Well, lately I don't buy too much, but yes, it's true. In the past, maybe I was buying too much. I cannot take clothes that I'm going to get rid of. Like Craig said, you go on a trip and you take, but Craig, I'm buying too much, and Craig is polluting the world because he gets rich on the clothes.
No, well, when we traveled, we went to poor countries. Like we traveled a lot in Africa, we traveled a lot in Asia, and believe me, there are a lot of people who are very happy with the clothes I give them. People who are living on the street, and I give them my dirty T-shirt. They're very happy. Hey, I have a T-shirt. It's dirty, and they're happy.
Okay, so this is the.
How do you say llevarse mal? Says Gemma. To get on badly with
get
someone.
on. Get on is the British. And then Edgar is asking, get along with. I said get along with is American, and it's the same. It's the same as get on with, that is British. So, and how do you say llevarse mal? I don't remember. The vaccines of COVID were tried out on animals. Tried out. Oh, that's true. Try it out, experimentar. Because try out means also experimentar. Test. It's experimentar. So yes, correct, Rafa.
And Gemma, it's get on badly. Yeah.
Yeah, get on badly. Okay, so we have trade out, pick out. Now pick out.
That's yours. Pick out.
Pick out is another. This is the first word for choosing. To choose. No. So for example, when I'm going to get dressed in the morning, I pick out the clothes. I usually what I do is I pick out my clothes the day before, because I don't want to be in a hurry. So I choose what I'm going to wear. I pick out No? So pick and out. That's very graphic, because pick, the grab, to grab, and out of a selection of clothes. No, I pick out some clothes, I put it on a sofa, and then the next day I just take them and get dressed. And this is the meaning of this verb. And then there's an, I don't think there's a second meaning. I just think it's to choose. I don't think of, is there a second meaning for this verb?
There's the meaning. Well, is it the same? If you have like a snail, caracol,
snail,
and they give you a pin, and you have to pick out the snail from the.
Well, this is the literal meaning. Yeah.
Yeah, to pick out something from inside.
Yeah.
To pick something out. But seleccionar or elegir is probably more useful.
Yes, to choose. And then what about the object? Where do we place the object here?
It can go in the middle, or it can go after. So you can pick your clothes out, or pick a shirt out, or pick out a shirt. Pick out your clothes. Yeah. So it can go in the middle, or it can go after. Okay. However, with the next phrasal verb, it is not separable. So we're going to see an example now of a phrasal verb that you cannot separate. Grow up. Be careful of grow, because it is irregular. The past of grow is grew. The same sound as you or to. So I grew up in London. I cannot say grew I up in London. So it's a phrasal verb that you cannot separate. And another confusion with this is it's a phrasal verb because you have the particle up, which in this case makes sense, because when you grow up, vas arriba, you get taller. But people grow up. Plants, trees, and animals grow. So there's no particle. And that's a mistake I hear quite often.
Yes.
Trees grow. They don't grow up. Plants and flowers grow. The flowers are growing in the spring. Sorry, hit the microphone. Yeah, so the flowers are growing, but they don't grow up. We grow up because we're people.
Yeah, but in Spanish, the translation is also criarse. And that's why you have to think about that, no? Grow up is criarse. And plants no se crían las plantas. The plants grow, crecen, but no se crían. So me crié, for example, I grew up in Madrid, or I grew up in London. I grew up.
Where did you grow? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Chile, and I grew up in the States because I was very young when I moved to the States, and then I moved all over the world, Venezuela, the Netherlands, and then I ended up, another phrasal verb, acabar. I ended up here in Spain, but I was very young also when I came to Spain. So to grow up is only for people, like Craig said. Don't forget that, because I hear that often too. The plant grew up. And I said, no, the plants don't grow up.
No, the plants grow.
Plants just grow. They don't grow up. Okay.
The next one is tricky. The next one's very tricky. Very difficult.
The next one is for me.
Yeah.
Lie down. This is tricky. It's true, because lie down is tricky because we confuse this verb with lay. So lie is tumbarse, okay? And lay is colocar, okay? But then this is the problem, is the past tense of lie is lay.
It's lay.
And that's why it's confusing, because the meaning is not clear, because you don't know. And you know what? I have seen that native speakers, they make a mistake too with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's that famous song with Eric Clapton, "Lay Down Sally." It's not that Eric Clapton took Sally and laid her down. What he's saying to Sally is, "Hey, Sally, lie down."
Yeah, túmbate. Okay.
Túmbate.
Yeah,
He didn't, because there's no object. So that song title is a grammatical mistake.
Yeah. So lie down. Lie also means mentira, no? But without the preposition. No? Lie down is túmbate. Túmbate. Lie down. So why don't you lie down? ¿Por qué no te tumbas? ¿Por qué no te? Or maybe in South America it's recostarse, I think. So why don't you lie down? Okay? So
and it's also a noun. I need a lie down.
Lie down.
I feel like a lie. I'm really tired. I feel like a lie down, or I'm going to have a lie down for 5 minutes. Yeah. So it can also be used as a phrasal noun.
Yes. So lie down, and then lying down. You can say lying down. I was lying down. In the gerund form. But then lay, do not confuse with lay. That means colocar. Poner. I lay the table, lay something on the table. Poner something.
Lay the box down on the bed.
Lay. Lay. L-A-Y. Lay. There's any any comments about the prepositions?
Well, there's no preposition when it's lie down because it's intransitive, as you said, and when it's L-A-Y, lay down, then it's intransitive, it has an object, and the same rules apply.
Exactly.
You can lay, L-A-Y, lay something down,
you need
or to lay down something. Yeah, so when it's lay down, when you physically, and you have an object to lay down, then you can play with the object. But when it's lie down, it's intransitive, so there's no object. Okay, so that's also another. I need to lie down after all this grammar. So many phrasal verbs. I need to lie down.
Sleeping. So that's for you.
We had this in the beginning when we spoke about waking up and getting up, and I said on Sundays I really enjoy staying in bed, sleeping in, and not getting up immediately. I mean, during the week we have work, we have to get up, we put the alarm, we wake up, we get up, we start doing things. On Sunday, I sleep in. I lie in bed. I read a book, I listen to podcasts, I sleep a little longer. So to sleep in means to sleep longer or be in bed longer than you normally are. And it is inseparable, so you cannot separate it. I'm sleeping in today.
Well, sometimes in Spanish we say the translation is pegársete las sábanas, no? Because we don't have a very good translation for that. Es dormir más de la cuenta o dormir. So se me pegaron las sábanas. I slept in. Sorry, I'm late. I slept in. Sometimes I remember in Madrid when I used to go to a company to work in a company. I remember many times the excuse was, sorry, there was a traffic jam. Because we were late. Oh, there was a horrible traffic jam. It's very easy in Madrid because there are always traffic jams. So, and the real reason why they were late was because they slept in.
You overslept.
Oh, that's true.
It's not the same, though. It's not the same.
It's not the same. It's true.
No, to oversleep is you did not hear the alarm. And you went over the time, so you overslept. Sleep in is voluntary.
It's true, but then how do we translate that?
Está más rato en la cama.
Yeah, but there's not one verb to say that. It's you have to explain. Sí, me he quedado más tarde.
See, Rafa, this is why we have phrasal verbs. Sometimes in Spanish you don't have a verb.
It's not. Yeah, you see. Yeah, this is for sure. Yeah.
Sleep in.
That's true. Quedarse dormido. Bueno, no, hibernar. No. Quedarse dormido is not the same, Gemma. No, because quedarse dormido is I fall asleep. I fell asleep, for example, me quedé dormido. I fell asleep. I was talking to Craig and I was so tired that I fell asleep.
I can understand that.
No, well, sometimes it happens, no, when you're very tired. But what we mean is that on Sundays, many times people sleep in, meaning that they stay in bed longer because they don't need to get up. That's the thing. And I was confusing quedarse en la cama. Yeah, Rafa.
Yeah.
Quedarse en la cama.
Thank you, Rafa.
There's no other expression. Because I was saying that was pegársete las sábanas, but then I was corrected by Craig because this is true, to oversleep. When you oversleep, eso es pegársete las sábanas. Se me han pegado las sábanas, like we say in Spanish from Spain. Okay, so another one that I have it, catch on here. Catch on. Catch on has at least two meanings. First meaning is to understand. To understand. For example, you're not catching on, Craig. Huh? You're not catching on.
I'm very slow today. I slept in. I'm very slow.
So catching on. You're not really catching on. You know, we're talking about all these phrases.
I'm not very quick.
Yeah, and well, the one that is not catching on is myself. Actually, I to catch on. So understand, it means to understand, but it's a second meaning, and it means to become popular. So, for example, there are things that catch on. Certain songs, for example, catch on because everybody starts listening to the song, and because it has something catchy. We say. There's another word, adjective there. Catchy, it's very catchy. A song can be catchy. In Spanish, it's pegadiza. So if something is catchy, you like it. So it catches on. Other things that can become popular, series, probably series. It's catching on. That series on Netflix, it's catching on. Or other many things, because we have social networks now. And it's very easy for things that, people like to catch on, to become popular. So, do you catch on now?
Yep, I've caught on.
I caught on, past tense.
I caught on. I think before we continue, Monica, there's a bit of confusion in the chat with oversleep and sleep in. Oversleep, no querías hacerlo. You didn't want to. You didn't hear the alarm. You slept late.
That's why in Spanish,
demasiado tarde en la cama. To sleep in, you decide. It's your choice, and you want to stay in bed more. So sleeping is voluntary, and oversleep is bad because you didn't mean to do it. That's the difference.
Exactly. Gemma, oversleep, pegársete las sábanas. That's not voluntarily, because it's pegarse las sábanas is that you don't want to go, you did not hear the alarm clock, whatever, you don't, in sleeping, quedarse en la cama, like Rafa said. She said he's a Spanish translator. Yes, Rafa, the official Spanish translator. We're pointing you. Quedarse dormido, to fall asleep, correct. And Edgar, what is he asking? We say me quedé dormido. Well, that means that is specific. Yeah, we say me quedé dormido. Yeah, well, exactly, Craig. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
So with catch on, there's another meaning that's literal.
Catch on. Yeah.
I caught my arm on the microphone stand, or I caught my my finger on the computer screen. It's like enganchado.
Pillarse, ¿no? Sí, me pillé la manga en español.
Yeah.
¿Sí?
Yeah.
Sí, engancharse también, pero it's pillar.
And then when it's that meaning, that literal meaning, you can separate the verb and the particle. So with Monica's example, you cannot separate it. With my example of literal, to catch on something, You can catch your jumper, your sweater on a nail, for example. You can catch your trousers on something in the street.
Okay, there's now we have let me see the common catch on something. Yes, catch on something. This is how to say it. Catch on something es pillarse algo, cepillarse. TV show, drugs.
No. You're thinking of engancharse. No, not in that meaning, Rafa.
Catch on.
That will be what's the word in English for to be addicted to something?
Addicted, to be hooked.
Is there to be hooked? Yeah, to be hooked on something, Rafa, will be the phrasal verb for addicted. Yeah, I'm hooked on this TV show.
Yeah, hooked.
I'm hooked on heroin. I'm hooked on marijuana. Yeah.
I'm hooked to this Facebook Live. Yeah.
I'm hooked on this video system.
Yeah, okay.
There's one more. Stay in. Yeah.
That one.
Is something that sadly we're doing a lot of these days with the coronavirus pandemic, which is why we started doing these Facebook Lives to help you with your English, because everybody is staying in at the moment. Quedarse en casa. The opposite of going out. Those two phrasal verbs are very common in everyday conversation. Are you going out on Saturday? Well, no, I don't think I'll go out. I'll stay in. Queda en casa. So it's very, very common to use that in everyday conversation, to ask someone if they're going out or if they're staying in.
Yeah, stay in. We stay in.
Stay in is inseparable. So you stay in y punto. I'm staying in tonight. Or you could say where you're staying in. I'm staying in my flat. I'm staying in my house. I'm staying in to watch television.
Okay, that's it.
Shall we go through the list again and tell them go one more time if they remember these phrasal verbs?
Okay, so wake up, despertarse. Okay, now get up.
Get up in the morning, levantarse, get up to go to work.
Put on, not put on, put on, ponerse ropa, to put on. I put on my jacket before I leave. Okay.
Come over for coffee, or come round for a beer, come round for a chat, come to my place, come out, come over, or come round, come to where I live.
Hang out. Where do you hang out, or who do you hang out with, Greg?
These days, I hang out by myself. Hang out with my virtual friend Mónica.
Oh, you hang out with your wife too?
I hang out with my wife, but we're hanging out online. So
online.
Hang out with friends. We're hanging out with Rafa. We're hanging out with Gemma. Yeah, and we're hanging out together.
Yes, and then we have workout. Yeah.
To do exercise, to keep fit, get in shape, to do exercise, or to calculate, to find a solution to a problem, to work out the bill, for example, to calculate how much you have to pay.
Then you have fit in. That means encajar, or to feel comfortable or uncomfortable in a group or in any situation. If you don't fit in, no encajas. You're not comfortable. If you fit in, for example, we fit in here. We all fit in here very well. Okay, as positive, comfortable. Next one, get on with.
Llevarse bien. I get on well with my sister. I don't get on well with my boss, for example.
No,
that's not true.
Well, that also get on with means also another second meaning. Don't forget that. Apañarse con algo. How are you getting on with your new job, for example, if you have a new job? Mm-hmm. Then we have try it out. That is to test something. I'm going to try out this new, you can say, for example, ice cream. They're selling a new type of ice cream. And because I have a sweet tooth, I'm going to try it out. Try it out. Then we have pick out.
To select, seleccionar. So in the morning when you get dressed, after you get up, after you wake up, you pick out a shirt to wear, or you pick out the clothes you're going to wear during the day. So to choose or to select something is to pick out something or pick something out.
To grow up. This is to be raised. Where did you grow up? For people, not for plants. Okay, remember that. Plants don't grow up, only people grow up.
And remember the past tense, it's grew up.
Yeah, grown up, the past participle. Lie down, Craig.
Lie down, to rest, to acostarse, do you say in Spanish? To lie down on the bed. It can also be a phrasal noun. I'm going for a lie down, or I'm going to lie down for a few minutes. Just be careful that lay down needs an object. So you lay an object down on the table, for example, to lay something down somewhere. But the past tense of lie down is lay down. That's why it's confusing. You've got the same spelling for two different verbs.
Okay, sleeping, we said that it was quedarse en la cama. So usually on Sundays, I sleep in. Okay, on Sundays, I stay until later, like until probably 9 o'clock.
Do you sleep in on Saturdays?
No, I work on Saturdays.
Me too. I have class Saturday morning. 9 o'clock I start teaching. It's horrible.
I start too at 9 o'clock. It's true.
Yeah.
So I don't sleep on. So you cannot be jealous. Yeah. Okay. Don't, because I'm working on Saturday usually. So catch on.
Estado de moda. If you have a meme on YouTube, for example, and everybody's watching it and everybody likes it and everybody shares it, it catches on. It becomes popular. That's the idiomatic meaning. And the physical meaning, you can catch clothes, for example, on something. So you can catch enganchar. You can catch your shirt on a nail or a screw or a hook or something.
But also catch on means to understand.
And also means to understand. Yes, thank you. It means to understand. Yeah, I've caught on. I know what you mean.
Catch on. And then staying is what we're doing. We most of the time staying in because of the COVID. So staying, you need to stay is quedarse, alojarse. Stay in is you don't go out, basically. I'm staying in. No, I'm not going out. So that's it, folks.
Everybody's staying in.
Everybody's staying. Well, most people. I don't think everybody, but most people.
Before we go, there's one final question from Rafa. He's asking about a phrasal verb with hook.
Let me see.
In the USA.
Yeah, he says there's a phrasal verb with hook, but I know in USA the meaning is bad. However, in England it isn't.
Maybe you're thinking of the word hooker, Rafa, which means prostitute, but that's not a phrasal verb. Put on is hooker in USA, but it's not a phrasal verb.
Not that I know. I was trying to think of a phrasal verb with hook that is
to be hooked on something is enganchado. So you can be hooked on drugs, you can be hooked on video games, you can be hooked on sex, you can be hooked on heroin. It's hooked on alcohol. That's a phrasal verb, to be hooked on something.
He says hook up.
Hook up means to connect, to meet someone. Let's hook up for a beer on Friday. Let's hook up and hang out, you could say. Let's hook up. Let's connect, to have a connection between us.
I don't think it's about hook up. Hit on. There's also another hit on. Thank you, Gemma. Thank you for coming. This is because in the shows when Craig does the show, he has many visitors, but I have very few on my page. And
it's growing. It's growing. There's lots of people here today. Oh, and before we go, I must remind you or tell you that next week we're having a Christmas special with Mónica, with Lynn, the three of us together. So we will put all the details on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter. You know where to find us. And at the same time next Wednesday, we'll have a Christmas special with 3 of us together. So we're really looking forward to that. But you must bring your Christmas hats, even though we can't see you. We want you to wear your Christmas hats, have a Christmas drink, and we'll celebrate together online, and we'll hang out together. It'll be cool.
So Christmas special for next week. Remember that. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Gemma. Thank you, Rafa. And I think some of them left. But Sassenach and who was the other one? Edgar, Monse. Thank you very much. So we'll see each other next week.
Yes.
Next week.
Stay safe, everyone. Take care and have a good week.
En the Mansión del Inglés Facebook. Okay. Bye-bye.